What's up, everybody? I'm Duncan Deep, and I'm joined by my friends at Elgato. This is Steggy.
What up?
And Phil.
Hello.
All of their social media and stuff links are in the description down below. If you ever have had a problem with an Elgato device, it's been Phil helping you, probably.
Maybe not personally, but like in spirit.
Yeah, the spiritual
He's got a
helper.
team.
He's definitely been my helper when I was trying to do weird stuff with multiple Elgatos before it was officially supported and all of that stuff. It was all Phil. Steggy does all the dank tweets, so he's been doing that stuff. And today we're doing another PC build video, but this one's something very, very special because we're going to put everything you see on this table here, so everything you see here into this. This is the Dan A4 SFX case. It's the smallest mini-ITX case on the market that fits a full-length graphics card, but we're not just putting a full-length graphic card in, we're putting this, which is the Cortana 1070 in it, and we're putting a 4K 60 Pro in it so that we can stream on the go. This is completely portable. I'm not putting any liquid cooling in it for a reason, which is that I want to be able to take it on a plane. And it's going to be my completely portable streaming and recording setup. I can record 4K on the go. I can stream on the go in a case that is 7.25 liters. So I don't think... This is something that you guys have heard a lot, right? At events, that streamers saying, I go to events and I can't afford to go to an event for 7 days because then that 7 days I'm not streaming. I'm losing income for 7 days and the event's costing me money. So an event might only cost me $2 grand to go to, but it's actually costing me $6 grand because I'm losing an entire week of streaming.
Yeah.
This is aiming to fix that problem. So when it comes to the parts in this system, we're going for 16 gigs of RAM. That should be enough because it's just for streaming, and streaming only takes 2 to 3 gigs of RAM. Then Windows takes 2 gigs. You know, 16 gigs is overkill. We could go to 32 if we wanted to. You would need to get 2 16 gig sticks, but that's up to you. We've got a 250 gigabyte M.2 hard drive because I love having Windows on M.2. This is for me. I don't need it. There's a 1 terabyte SSD in here actually already because I needed to transport it from the UK, but you don't need it, but I want it.
It also makes your restarts really, really quick.
Yeah, if something crashes, you know, or anything goes wrong. We've gone for what I think is the best mini ITX for an 8700K on the market, which is ASRock. They make the best mini stuff. You know, Asus generally, anything above ATX, but ASRock for mini is just so, so good. I've got one thing that I prepared earlier, which is a delidded 8700K. We've delidded it to save 15 degrees on temps, which in a case this small, super important.
That's quite amazing, really.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing because it shows how bad Intel's stock TIM is, but honestly, it's not Intel's fault because there are a lot of people who are like, oh well, why don't Intel solder the chip? Soldering the chip damages chips, makes it a lot harder to do, and then when it comes to putting liquid metal in there, you do that at your own risk because it does slowly degrade the metal in the chip. If Intel did that, the chips wouldn't last as long. So the TIM that Intel used, there's a lot of like mis-advertising on this, saying that it's Intel's fault, that Intel are terrible, they use this bad TIM, but it's not really that bad. It's enthusiasts who need to delid. If you're a standard gamer and you're going for the 8700K and you're putting it in, you know, a 240mm RAD AIO, you do not need to delid the 8700K.
No, definitely not.
When you're doing stupid stuff like, well, not stupid, cool enthusiast stuff, experimental stuff, like trying to cram all of this stuff into a mini ITX box, then absolutely you need to delid.
Basically, a lot of hot metal is going inside a very small space, so
that's all.
How do you cool all that?
Yeah, so then you have to delid because you really, really need to push it, but that's not the average use case. So if you haven't delided your processor at home, you're not doing anything wrong, you're absolutely fine. So I probably shouldn't insult Tim that much. We have a mini power supply. This is like a SFX form factor power supply, 700 watt, which is insane that that's 700 watts on a mini power supply. It's platinum, it's Silverstone, they do black magic to get it all in, and then it works. And then the one other thing that I've done at home, I've taken the K199 from Dynatron and I've added the fan from the K129, which is sitting there dead because we took the fan off it, which did involve drilling holes through the outer fins. This is something that I probably need to do a separate video talking you guys through if you want to copy this build exactly. But do it at your own risk. If you drill a hole in your in your rather expensive pure copper block cooler and then they don't accept it when you try and return it, that's not my fault.
Yeah, I think your warranty will be voided
when you drill a hole.
Yeah, power tools are involved. I don't think that's the standard use case.
So yeah, we're gonna start putting this monster together. So in order to get both the graphics card and the 4K 60 Pro onto a mini ITX board, you need to do something called bifurcation. This is probably the most complex part of this build. I would encourage anybody who's doing this build and just needs 1080p 60, doesn't need to record 4K on the go, just use an Elgato HD60S and put any old graphics card in the pre-installed riser that's in this case. That will work just fine. I just wanted to go completely over the top with these guys because we don't hang out much, and it's like if we're gonna hang out and build a PC,
Yeah, why not go over the top?
Flew
Right?
over the pond for this, okay?
Yeah.
So
I imported the graphics card from
big, go
France
home.
as well. So if you can get hold of one of these and this is the Arc 1 Peli. It's the only one that's been proven to work with this exact setup. Somebody else beat me to it on IMGA. I messaged them. They're like, yeah, it works. So we're safe.
Is that just duct tape holding this
It's
together?
it's silver. It's like a foil shielding material to stop crosstalk.
It looks like duct tape.
It looks like silver duct tape.
Spit grit and a lot of duct tape.
So were they using a capture card too for the second PCIe device, or were they?
Yeah, they were doing it in a different case, but they were using this graphics card and this capture card, and they were making a full case. Oh, they beat me to it. Oh, but you know, I'm the first to make a video, therefore I'm first because nobody else can prove it.
You didn't film it. It didn't really happen. That is the lesson.
Yeah. If we can fit this fan into the case, which I highly doubt, we're going to put a Noctua fan in there just to improve airflow. This is like 99.99% not going to happen. So if this just gets thrown to the side at some point in the video, that's not on me. And then finally, we're going to go with, once again, it's all about thermal performance in this tiny, tiny build with no fans in the case or anything. So we're going for Cryonaut Thermal Grizzly, which is the best thermal. Don't buy it if you're just doing a regular build. Use the stock thermal paste that comes with it, that comes with your AIO, that's fine. But if you are doing a super high-end build, yes, Cryonaut Thermal Grizzly, best thermal paste you can get. Don't go with anything else.
We can help with the unboxing stuff.
Yeah, you feel free. The only thing that can't be unboxed is this, because it's got stuff balanced in there.
What, this?
Yeah, it's got like these standoffs, so I want to screw the cooler into it while it's in the box.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna have to just keep all the wires.
Look at this
here.
power supply, man.
I know.
That's so nice. I'm pretty sure that mine's only 650, and I've got like a full size.
We're just gonna move this.
Silverstone, like, they go to CEX and they're like, oh yeah, we just released a 1200 watt SFX power supply, and you're like,
Jesus.
excuse me?
Have you seen the new like little casing? I think yours is. You already got.
I got like
this
the
one has
before
like the
that.
little plastic.
No, I didn't
cover.
have that. Yeah, I had a cardboard sheet, I think.
This is still cardboard underneath, which I really want to switch out for foam because like I just think like the foam, like the Stream Deck foam, is so much like, more like premium feeling.
Yeah, it's the premium unboxing experience, isn't it? That like.
Do you want to have the Elgato sticker on this PC, or do you want
hell
the
yeah.
original?
I'll put the Elgato sticker right there. This PC, I'm gonna get. I've got my friend coming, who's an artist. She's gonna come visit the UK, and we're gonna take because this whole section of the PC comes off. It's just you undo these 4 screws. This whole front plate comes off.
Oh wow!
We're gonna take it off, and she's gonna paint it.
Nice.
So I'm really excited for that in the future.
All right. The CPU.
So what's the
those.
cable management going to be like in this? Is it
Horrendous.
going to be horrendous? Okay, so that's probably
So this
like
original build-
I wouldn't even try to do this just because look how many cables could go in that place. You know?
So this
You wanna hand
original
me that
build
trash?
is going to be really bad cable management wise because we're using the Silverstone stock cables.
Yeah.
But once I've got this built, I can measure all the cable distances
Yeah.
and then order a bunch of cable mod cables for it.
Do they actually
Gotcha.
cut them to specific
They cut them to
lengths?
length, yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah,
nice.
That's
it
the way
is
you need-
expensive.
Cable mod cables are like
Also custom braided, right, and all that fun stuff.
yeah, they're
Like custom colors,
custom
all sorts of
braided,
stuff.
parachute cord. Like I built one PC ever with cable mod cables before I did YouTube or anything. A friend of mine was like, I want the best of the best, and I built him cable mod cables. And I'm like, I need to do a build with these. Like, it's
What are parachute cables?
I think he means
cord.
nylon braided.
so it's
Oh,
no, nylon braided is one thing. Parachute cord is another thing. Parachute cord is like
They
it's
extract it from
carbon.
Kevlar?
It's carbon fiber. It's a carbon fiber cord, and they
Okay.
wrap it in carbon fiber cord just so it looks because it's so much thinner. So
Yeah.
the cables are wrapped in it, and it looks so slick. But
I
those
just learned
ones,
something new.
Yeah.
they do standard nylon cord.
Yeah.
and that's cheaper.
I like how that's
you
considered
can
the
choose-
standard now.
Yeah.
But you can do paracord if you really want to do paracord. You can do paracord, and that's an extra like $10 per
I've
cable.
been buying the wrong type of rope.
Per cable.
I gotta just buy a bunch of rope made out of carbon fiber.
I just need some diamond filament rope actually,
Yeah.
and then I'm okay.
All right.
This all stuff.
First things first, with any PC that you're building, is you want to put the processor into your socket on your motherboard, and that is
Actually, one minor correction, and you've already done it, and that's why you forgot about it. this anti-static.
Oh right, yeah,
wristband.
my anti-static wristband. Which, if you don't have this on, put it on. Especially with a micro build like this.
I will say though, in my experience, I've built like 4 or 5 PCs. Well, actually, probably many more than that. But yeah, probably many more. I never wear one of those, and I've never had an issue before.
Oh,
but
until you do.
Exactly. So knock on wood. I will.
The thing is, modern PC
I
parts.
do recommend it.
Yeah, modern PC parts have really good ESD, which is electrostatic discharge protection.
Yeah.
Right, they're really good, but until they don't.
Yeah,
Exactly. And there's nothing worse than a broken part.
Yeah.
I'm always like super careful when I'm handling like the CPU, but I remember like the first time I did my build, it was such a like almost put on like a hazmat suit, like a full bunny
Actually,
suit.
where are my screwdrivers? Because I can't find them.
The fix-it kit.
Yeah.
Did somebody put it somewhere?
Well, you didn't put it back in the
Oh,
box.
here it is. Jeez, I'm sorry. Let's hide it. I was gonna keep that.
Gremlins took it. So that is such an organized kit. I love it.
Yeah,
I gotta get myself one of those.
They're not
Tom
even-
has one. They love them.
I know.
He loves them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom was. We were actually nerding out about it recently. Okay, I'm going to put the cooler on next, just because before the video or before we even came here, I lined the back plates up because this motherboard's so compact that the back plates actually you have to put them on in a really wonky way to get them to go on.
Okay.
Because like there's contacts on the bottom that would then be pushing against the metal pads if you put them on the way they tell you to. So hopefully it doesn't just snap my motherboard in half when I do this.
Let's hope.
That'd be great.
But yeah, so I remember the first time I did like my first build, like outside of like school or whatever, I saved up and I bought all my parts, and I almost like put on like a full clean room bunny suit because I was so worried about static discharge, because that's what they warn you in school and stuff. But then almost after like working here, once because I used that one computer for like 6 years, it lasted me forever. And then I came here, and then like Phil was like, nah, none of that's necessary, like ever.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
So you go with the dot method in the center, because some people do the cross, some people do the dot. I
Depends.
myself am partial to the cross.
So it depends on what you're building. I mean, the 8700K, it's like the actual part of the chip that gives off heat is like that big.
Yeah, it's right in the center.
So it doesn't really matter if you have a dot. I think if you're running a thermal Threadripper build, you want a big cross.
That's
like,
what I run at home. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got a Threadripper at home. I know that. So you want the big cross method, because if you don't have a cross, you're going to be very upset. But this is lining up. Problems. That's pretty good. And then when you screw these in, you definitely want to screw them in a cross pattern.
To evenly space out or put pressure on the.
Yeah, because this is like
plate.
so much. This is so big as well. Like you really don't want to be putting too much pressure on one part of the motherboard. Especially, as I said, I've got the things in the bottom so jankily lined up that I really don't want to be putting uneven pressure. So I might take a little longer over this than is strictly necessary.
It's better to be safe than it is to be sorry.
That heatsink seems like it's literally like the weight of the whole motherboard, So it's like it'll do a lot of pressure.
It weighs almost as much as the motherboard.
Yeah.
So it's really like pure copper heatsink is the only way to go in this. You can put a liquid cooler in this case, and everything would be just great until you get the TSA telling you, oh, that's more than 100 mils of liquid in that system.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
You have to check it in. Oh, I didn't think about it. I bought the liquid cooler. It's a very special liquid cooler that fits in this case. That's very expensive, and I bought it, and I was like, gonna build it liquid cooled.
Did you take it to the airport?
No. Then I was talking to a friend on Discord, and my friend was like, so that liquid cooler's got less than 100 mils of liquid in it, right? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, any container with more than 100 mils, the TSA will be like, nope.
But it's closed loop. You don't open it. Nope, I don't think that would fly.
Yeah, it's like, this is a PC with 100 mils of liquid in it when you're paranoid about liquid, and it's like, you've never seen a PC that looks like this before. Yeah. I'm already worried about taking this on a plane.
They're strict on so many things that you can overlook. There's a lot of regulations with batteries too. So apparently, like the latest MacBooks or whatever, crappier batteries than before, which I can attest to. And people were saying like, why? And like Apple justified it, saying like we couldn't go over like 900 watt hours because like the limit is like 1,000 watt hours per device.
On a plane.
Otherwise, you can't bring it on a plane or at least carry on, which is like nobody's gonna check a $4,000 MacBook.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was relatively painless compared to the dry run. I did a dry run yesterday to make sure the parts fit together. The dry one was unpleasant.
How does it look on the back?
Still could make a great YouTube thumbnail. I almost snapped my motherboard.
That's interesting. Okay,
So
I've
we
never
actually
seen.
Yeah, that bracket layout.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is really interesting.
Like I've seen the outer, and I've seen inner, but I've never done a outer inner before.
Yeah,
and
but you can see those little extra chips at the bottom there. Those little
these would be in the way. Like obviously on an mITX, those problems aren't there. They're either on the front or okay.
Yeah.
Well, they gave me more eSATA cables, which is
You can never have enough.
Did they not give me M.2 screws and standoffs?
Really? Probably, maybe.
Right there.
There we go.
Aha. Wait, is this a no standoff M.2 then?
No, it has a standoff right there.
Oh, it's pre-installed.
Yeah,
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at ASRock coming through for us.
They were like, Duncan's gonna build.
Imagine you just like going back on your like ASRock is so great for the mini-ITX. It's like they didn't include this. What?
Or not even
Done
that.
with
It's like
them.
ASRock is so good for this, and then everything else works on the thing, and then we try and post, and the board doesn't post, and we're like, oh, okay. Well,
That's actually really cool that they do it on the other side of the motherboard. I've never seen that before, but it makes total
good for
sense.
space saving,
it's
right?
done a little bit in the mITX builds. Like some of these ASRock builds have 2 slots for M.2s on the back.
Fancy.
So the original plan for this build was to go with a 7900X Extreme core processor.
They make motherboards for that?
Yeah,
That small?
ASRock make one. There is one in the world, and it's an ASRock board.
I feel like at that point the amount of power running through the board, given how small it is, would just
It's-
1 overvolt and it just.
Yeah, it's the so the 2 reasons I didn't do that. One is the price. So the whole price of this system, the whole point is I wanted to build this for streamers for under $1,500. Because if you're a streamer full-time, $1,500 is a lot of money still. It's always going to be a lot of money. But for a full-time streamer to be able to stream on the go, if they go to 3 events a year, they're going to pay it back in a year, right? Or less.
Yeah.
So that was the aim there. Because the 7900X build was going to be $2,700.
Also, realistically, you really don't need a 7900X.
The other thing
that's
is
a luxury.
An 8700K
Sure.
can handle medium preset streaming with a 2-stream setup, and this is going to be a 2-stream PC setup either way because every streamer has a gaming laptop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're going to plug their gaming laptop into the 4K60 Pro. They're going to do a 2 PC setup anyway. They're going to be streaming on medium preset, and the difference between medium and slow, from personal experience, is very small. It's diminishing returns as you slow down. Like very fast to faster. Huge change. Faster to fast, big change. Fast to medium, reasonable change.
Yeah.
Medium to slow, and then slow to very slow is just. I
Well, and
didn't
then
see a
there's
different
placebo,
story.
and it's called placebo.
It's
for a
called
reason.
placebo for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I have the box back for the motherboard, please?
You not put the RAM on it.
I want to build in the box so that I'm not putting pressure on that M.2 that's underneath.
You're so much more careful than I am. I just put it on a desk, just.
Slam bits in.
I mean, I've built so many of these that for a special build like this, obviously you want to be more cautious, but
when
you're just building another PC, I'm like, all right, you know what? Just put. Yeah.
This is my 6th PC this year, and I'm still this paranoid. I'm just, I've had too many like full builds, fully built, and then not post.
So you went with dual channel 16 gigs, you said, of RAM?
Dual channel 16 gigs. I know that 32, obviously, but with the current prices of RAM.
Well, also, more is not... I mean, more is better, really, for RAM, but you don't need more. When you're streaming or recording, the maximum you're probably going to use in any given program at any time would probably be 2 gigs. Add Windows on top of that. I mean, 16 is really, really more than
16
enough.
is... I looked at my utilization on my PC when I'm streaming, my RAM utilization on my big build, when I'm streaming it slow with every preset maxed out, my RAM utilization is 8.8 gigabytes.
Yeah.
So I was like, why do I need to spend... It's going to cost you another $250 to put 32 gigs of RAM in this system, because RAM right now, the prices are just nuts. If RAM prices were normal right now, yeah, you can justify it. But
Thanks, Bitcoin.
yeah.
I don't want to know how much that 1070 is right now with Bitcoin.
It hasn't changed in price at all.
Really?
Because it's like some small French retailer that doesn't know that graphics cards have gone up. I got that for £300, which
Wow.
was retail on a 1070.
I'm surprised you wouldn't just like buy out the store and be like, I'm a GPU reseller now. I've become the scum. Like,
I
Okay.
think there was only
But-
1 or 2 of those in stock too.
oh wow.
Yeah.
See, but what I like about this setup though is that it's just very like you can easily kind of change
is
it,
it so
you know, specific to what you want. So you don't need the really top end CPU to throw in there. You can change. Well, I guess you don't have a lot. Like you use that graphics card there because it's so slim. It's a lot slimmer than the one I have in my desktop. But I'm sure you could maybe find a 1050 or 1060 with that same thing.
Actually, no, this is the only 10 series single slot card, but the big thing is you don't need the single slot if you're not going to go 4K 60 Pro. If you want to go
Yeah,
HD
you can get
60S,
well, yeah. So you can get a fatter one if you're not going 4K 60 Pro. But what's cool about this motherboard is that it also has a Thunderbolt port on the back, so you could use an HD 60S in that port too, which is great because high bandwidth and it won't be screwing with the other USB ports that you might have like your mouse and keyboard plugged into as
Ooh,
well.
Since it's a Thunderbolt 3 port, you could probably also even get a PCI expansion
Yeah.
box.
Ooh,
that was what I was
yeah.
thinking, is a PCI
We've-
expansion box for a
we've-
4K 60.
We've done that actually. It's unsupported AF, as I would say, but we have done a test on some like Dell laptop with a Thunderbolt, and we had a 4K 60 Pro
Your other
running in
option
like an
is
Aikido.
you could even do onboard graphics, right, and just put a 4K 60 Pro in here.
Yeah.
Because with the standard expansion slot and everything that it comes with, because when you're streaming, you don't
I
need
didn't get
a good graphics card, right? And then if you wanted to record 4K, you could then plug in a graphics card with a Thunderbolt
Exactly.
expansion, and that is very supported. We all know that that's very supported. You know, there have been 150 million YouTube videos talking
sure.
about how supported that is. I don't need to explain that to any of you guys.
Yeah.
At all.
So, you know, tell me a little bit more about like your. So you're gonna travel with, I believe you use an Asus Zephyr, right?
Zephyrus, yeah.
And that's gonna be your gaming PC.
So I'll game on that, and I will output to this.
And so I'm assuming you'll be doing this mostly in a hotel room, or
Yeah, hotel
so are you going to
room.
be using your hotel TV as the monitor for this, or are you using your own solution
So I
for
can either use
a portable
hotel
monitor?
I've actually found a portable monitor, but it was out of stock. Otherwise, I would be showing it off here.
So
But there is a super small portable monitor that powers off of USB, but takes HDMI input. So I have the HDMI into the monitor, powering it from the USB
I
on the
think I
same
might
computer.
have that monitor that you're talking about. Is it Jashiq by any chance?
Yes.
I have that. It's 10. Well, I have the 1080p.
Yeah.
I think it's 13 inches or 15 inches. I don't
a
know. It's
touchscreen,
literally in the
yeah,
other
right.
room.
Yeah, it's a touchscreen as
touchscreen
well.
too if
Yeah.
you're using the USB thing. Honestly, from somebody who owns it, I think it's a phenomenal piece of kit. And because I've been playing around with the different mobile setups too, not quite at this level, just because. I mean, first off,
Elgato-
I'm not a level of a streamer that you're at, so almost I look at sort of like a 99% kind of thing, and so I look at the kind of like slimmer, powerful,
Okay,
you know,
I'm
I think that's
laptop.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Also, we should probably install the backplate first before we put the motherboard in.
Oh no, I've screwed the fan on the wrong way round.
No, why?
Because it's going to be blowing downwards, hot air downwards, instead of upwards.
Instead of upwards.
Yeah, out of the top light. Blowing the hot air out. It's slightly less than optimum. I may flip it in the future, but not
For
now.
now,
For now, it's fine.
let's put in the backplate.
Oh, yeah. That is the right
There
way.
are a lot of things to consider when building a PC.
Yeah, like
Which way your
remembering
fan's
to put-
going, you know, which way your fan is blowing. Is the airflow good? Is it, you know, going through the PC, or is it being, you know, are you creating positive or negative pressure, that sort of thing, to keep dust out?
Yeah, this is a positive pressure build because we only have. No, it's a negative pressure build.
Yeah.
Sorry, because we only have outgoing fans. We're not going to have any intakes at all, which means this is going to get dusty, and you will need to. Have I put the backplate in the wrong way up?
Yes, it's upside down.
Fantastic.
I'm just not recording for a second. You might want to re-say what you were saying.
Oh, because we
we
can
can
use the
remember.
audio.
I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
The clanking might not match, but I don't think people would necessarily care.
No.
Okay. Backplate is in.
I mean, Elgato, you guys have your own sort of big style portable setups for events and things because you do a lot
Yeah,
of streaming.
but they're not really
Yeah,
portable. I
so-
mean, we ship out a full PC, we ship out 2 monitors. It's It's quite the ordeal.
Yeah, so the most portable setup we do is when we go down to PAX Australia, or I should say I go down because it's little old me down there.
Yeah.
But basically, this is building out a little bit. I don't know if that's an... no, it's fine. So I go down there with like 2 full checked bags that I have gaming laptops in and like full microphones and the whole shebang. And basically, it's a single PC setup using the top-end i7 mobile CPU with a full GTX 1080 GPU in it. So they're really thick laptops, but they can run single PC setups or consoles very easily, which is great. But this is all doing at the very fast presets or maybe faster presets, what have you. So
maybe try and build one of these for Elgato.
Yeah, because I mean, this could definitely go in there, and no matter what, we end up sourcing some monitors when we go down there, just because it's cheaper to like buy or borrow some monitors when we're there, rather than shipping back and forth. Because it's like $150 to ship one way per monitor, and it's like you can get a nice monitor for that price. And then like the first time I did it, I just gave it to my PR company afterwards. I'm like, here you go, like thanks for buying this with our money, and it's like you can keep it. We might need to borrow it next year. And so we did that, but I played around with some portable setups before using just like the thin, so like for me, I would almost focus more on a console setup. So let's say I took like an Xbox One S or let's say a PS4 Slim, because not a lot of people are playing Xbox right now, and like your Asus Zephyr, and using that as the streaming PC, and then using like a Jashiq tablet as like as your pass-through.
I considered it, but even then you're on the fast preset, because I considered just buying a second Zephyrus and streaming from one Zephyrus to another Zephyrus.
I think I brought that too, and you know, I feel like for 90% of people that could be satisfactory for sure. But I know that you want quality, that extra piece of quality, which is, that's
the difference is between being like a part-time streamer, a full-time streamer, or if it's a one-off, or if it's I travel a lot because obviously I'm married an American, so we're in America all the time, and I don't want to quite sacrifice my quality to the point where I'm going to probably route these cables last. Thinking about it, the power supply is going to be here.
Yeah, what goes in next?
That's the difficult question. I don't know whether to put the power supply in next or try and route, because the other thing that I've just realized is that the bifurcation cable is coming all the way around here, up over this, and then plugging in here, because this goes in upside down to what I thought it went in. Unless, which side is the bottom? Yeah, this is the bottom.
Right, so you do need to flip the fan ideally before the full build.
I probably need to flip the fan, yeah.
We can just pause it and.
I'm just thinking if I want to flip the fan or not, because thinking about it, I did not know that ribbon cable would be going over the top of the whole build. That seems insane to me, right? There's got to be a way to pass it up through the top here. So instead of passing it down there, pass it up through the top here and then flip it this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be... And so then I definitely want the fan blowing down, because then this will be obstructing upward flow.
Yeah.
So down is actually better, I think, if I can pass it in that way.
Up is down.
You totally thought of this from the very beginning.
Yeah, from the very beginning.
In the future.
You guys...
And I could tell that I'll be doubting myself at a certain point, but if I just stick to my convictions...
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Steggy. I totally would have thought of that myself as well, that excuse, if I'd had more time.
So you can take the bottom. Oh, that's the other side panel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Everything.
Makes it easy.
The thing about this is it is fully modular. This whole front plate comes off. You can, if you want to, you can remove the USB 3.0 at the front, and that's how you put liquid cooling on here. But you lose your standard SSD. And you lose the liquid cooling, and then you have to go to just an M.2. That's all you can have in the entire system, and that's the other downside of the 9700X system, because I don't think I could find a way to cool the 9700X with a passive cooler, and then I couldn't take it on a plane. So, you know, the 8700K system I think is the best choice. I do, but if you want to upgrade, I'm going to put a part list in the description down below of the 9700X system. If you want to go for the 10-core ultra high settings so that you can stream at any setting you want system, that will be an option, and it will be down below, but I don't recommend it. This is the system I would prefer to have, because I like being able to go to on a plane with it and have it in my hand luggage and not have to risk, you know, the TSA throwing it around.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people are going to like the look of this system and the fact that it's more that it's just, you know, so portable.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like after you prepare for maybe Linus to kind of maybe see this come across and be like,
Linus has built in this case. Actually,
he's done
full
this
respect
case specifically.
Full respect to Linus, because I learnt almost everything I know about PC building from watching his videos back in the day. So I have a lot of respect for the guy, and if Linus ever made a video and was like, yeah, I saw this elsewhere and it was my idea, I would be dead chuffed. Like, really would be. He's such a nice guy, such a good content creator. I have a lot of respect for him. But he built in this system with the 7980XE.
Okay.
With the 18 core.
I saw the 18 core. I didn't know that it was the same case.
Yeah, it's
but
the
I
same
remember
case.
looking at that. I was just like, I passed it around because I'm like, this is a really cool, small, portable system.
Yeah.
Because I love watching Linus Tech Tip videos too.
Yeah,
and he was somebody that like I remember watching way back in the day.
Yeah, like
it wasn't that big of a channel back then because, well, first off they grow, you know, like the older they are, but like PC building was definitely more
a niche
obvious
thing,
now.
yeah.
It was way more niche, and I think because of streaming and because of YouTube, there's been such a resurgence, and now like this kind of like culture is it's the revival for sure.
I have no idea how you get this tray for the mounting the PSU to out. So I'm just undoing screws until it works.
Open the whole thing.
Because I think all these screws are the same, which is really cool.
Oh, that's super handy. I'm like one of those people guilty of like when I put something back together, I'm missing a few screws.
No, that's not a screw.
Okay, I have no idea.
Is this like a clip? Is this a clip?
That's the clip for the side panel. Yeah, this is definitely supposed to come out because it's how you attach the PSU to it and then you screw this in from the top. Oh, there's a screw. Oh my, you have to take the whole paneling off because there's a screw here that screws it in.
Okay, so you just
that would just probably make it easier anyways.
Yeah. Oh, I was hoping it wouldn't be necessary, honestly.
Better view for camera too.
Such a tiny PC anyway. Like, I guess you had to expect it, didn't you?
Going full bare
There's
bones.
just 2 more screws. Oh, you have to do that too. Yeah, it's a little bit more.
That's okay.
See, I want something like this as a little home theater PC so that I can just, you know, have that sit there next to my consoles. And,
if Elgato ever decide they want one, if you can source the parts, because obviously you have a bunch of partnerships, I'll build it for you.
Maybe. But just throw like a 1080 Ti in there and then an 8700K and play some games. I think that could also be
Don't lie, you'll just
look at that.
Bitcoin with it.
Look at how nicely that comes out.
Okay.
Oh my god, do we have to censor this? Is this hardware
Whoa.
porn? Like, is this against like terms of service? Good thing you're not streaming it.
Yeah, it's true, man. Yeah, even the same screws internally. That's great. Every screw is the same. You don't have to worry about...
That's got to be so handy just for their production side, too. Like, I think that's, like, the way to go about it. Everybody wins if you do that.
They weren't playing with this power supply cage, though. It is secured in at every possible angle. Need to remember to put all these screws back in. There we go.
Well, you have to think because those are the only things supporting it.
That is holding the weight of the entire power supply.
They don't have any extra like metal flaps like carrying it, so that's really smart to just have more screws.
And this plastic sheet, by the way, for anybody wondering, why is there a plastic sheet inside that? Why is Duncan not taking that out before the video? That's actually meant to be there, and it stops the back plate of the GPU shorting out against the back plate because there's no standoffs for the GPU.
Oh, okay. I was kind of wondering what that was doing there too, but I was like,
I don't want to question it.
Yeah, I was trusting
you. Now we have to think long and hard about the orientation.
GPU orientation.
Of this.
Do we want? Well, I don't think.
We don't want.
I don't think I can have the fan of the pointing towards the back of the graphics card.
No,
right?
it should be pointing away from the graphics card, like
So,
that. Yep.
That would be the orientation. Yeah. Good call, Phil. I was about to screw it on the other way around. So.
See, like these are the reasons that when I get like a new computer, if I have to switch builds over, I'm like, Phil, this is totally a job for you to do today. And you're like, Psh, you can do this. I'm like, not like you can.
Phil is that tech guy.
Well, I mean, it's just like, okay, it's something that would take me 3 times as long. And probably not. It'd be like 3/4, you know, as good of the job. You know what I mean? Like
everybody has that tech friend who's like super good at it.
I should start charging for this, you know, for friends.
Well, you didn't
and
help me.
family.
You didn't help me for my home PC, but when it's the work PC, something like your job,
problem
Mr.
is-
Technical.
I have 6 friends who are like close friends who've helped me grow on YouTube and Twitch, who have asked me to build them this exact PC.
Like
a lot of them
parts and
don't.
labor.
A lot of them don't want this, but they just want like a HD60S version of the build, which I think is probably the most sensible version. As I said, if you're doing this for yourself, do the HD60S version.
Or
do
a
yourself
Pro,
a favor.
if you don't need a full-on GPU in there.
Or a Pro if you want to have no GPU in there. But don't do what I've done. What I've done is stupid, honestly.
Now to figure out...
This is the 1%.
Yeah, so that goes in first, I think.
And so is that like a pass-through kind of
That's
thing?
a pass-through from the back, so that is a power cable
Okay,
pass-through
oh,
from
okay,
here
yeah, because I
to the
just
back of
noticed.
the
Okay.
PSU, yeah. And it's way too long. I don't understand, like, everything else in this case was so well thought out, and then the length of this pass-through, I don't understand.
Maybe they wanted to give you the option to go around this kind of stuff, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about options.
Yeah, just because, like, if you
make
like,
it
depending
small.
on your setup, like, you could have had a weird setup, and then you would have been like, oh, man, I can't wrap this around, so it's better to be too long than too short.
And I think the other thing is, yeah, this is an enthusiast case. If it's too long, you can always buy your own pass-through and just, it's one screw to undo this one and, you know, get your own custom length pass-through. Come on, screw.
Yeah.
Magnetic screwdrivers are the best.
I need to get myself the iFixit kit.
Yeah,
So
I'm not sponsored. There's no ifixit.com/. Although you can use Linus's code. Talking of Linus Tech Tips,
It doesn't work anymore.
it doesn't work anymore. Beryl, who bought me this for Valentine's Day. This is the best Valentine's Day gift I've ever had. My wife got me for it for Valentine's, and
I mean, if if you're coming across this video, throw some tags in there, dog. Just saying, you know, like.
But honestly, it's one of those things where I don't need to be sponsored to advertise it because it's a product that's so good. It's what I used to do with Elgatos, actually. I wasn't sponsored, and I'd be like, I use an Elgato capture card because it's the best.
I mean, there's at a certain point where,
Yeah.
I always respect the YouTubers and the streamers out there that, you know, don't go with a company that just pays the most, because there's definitely the people out there that kind of go for that, like, who pays money and I'm going to use them, and it's like people can sort of see through that, you know, and you know, I remember just seeing some YouTubers like, I will never, you know, push a product that I wouldn't 100% use even without being sponsored, but if you do like a certain product, there's no harm in saying like, hey, this helps me, you know, with my livelihood a little bit better. And as a viewer, like, I totally get that. And, it, you know, basically the way that, you know, marketing is done with these guys is that, you know, there's basically savings passed on to the viewer, and then, like, it kicks back to the creator as well. So you as a viewer, if you are interested in that product, you get to save some money on it, and the creator gets a kickback on top of it. So it's a win-win.
I'm almost feeling like I should have cabled in all of the power cables for this.
Oh, that's going to be awful, yeah.
But one of my favorite things is the run distance from this to this, the 24-pin run distance when I get my custom cable mod cables to neaten up the cable management, because trust me, this is going to be ugly. This run distance is like 6 centimeters.
Yeah, so it'll be a really nice clean build once you get all
Once I get the cable.
Should we take this back out?
No, I don't think so. I think what I'll do is I'll take the hard drive cage out.
Yeah.
If I take the hard drive cage out the bottom here, then I can come in from the bottom and do it that way. And then I'm going to cable tie this all the way around the edge of the case just to make that length value.
Well, that's part of the PC building experience. You get all the parts, you think about how you're going to build it, and then during the build you realize,
oh no,
I did this wrong, or this is better optimized if I do it this way. And
I was going to have
fun.
to
That's part of the fun, you know?
Yeah. And I was going to have to pop this hard drive out anyway. It was only plugged in here because it was the best way to transport it from the UK, because I didn't want a SSD
shaking around,
rattling around somewhere with no protection on the SATA ports or anything. SATA connections on SSDs, that's the main thing that's ever failed in any of my PCs. I have snapped so many SSD SATA connections just by being too rough, plugging them in, like not looking, you know, plugging them in around the back of the computer like this, and then just snapping the SATA connection, and being like, well, that is a 1 terabyte solid state drive that costs $400 that I now do not have anymore.
So I have some slightly awful news. We don't have the exact same screws for every part of the case. These are slightly different.
Oh yeah.
I hope you will remember the one thing that has different screws.
I mean, they have to, because they've got to go through a rubber grommet, don't they? Because they're hard drive screws. You don't want to be.
Yeah.
So that literally plugs into the back of my PC at home, and so whenever I get home, I can put this in. This is my hard drive from my actual PC. So all my drive files and everything for OBS all point at the same directories. So I can just import, export profiles freely, and they all point at the same directories, which are all on this 1 terabyte SSD. It's that's the tech. That's the hidden tech. There'll be another video where I explain how to set this up for streaming, how to do all of that, and then another video showing you how to fit everything you need to stream, your laptop, this, your mic, everything, into one carry-on suitcase without any chance of it going wrong.
So I have been able to do like one laptop in my backpack and then one laptop in the carry-on, and usually they're really
not that bad.
It's not that. It's probably about 1.5 times what it should be, but actually works out pretty well here.
You might have to come from the other side because there's more space if you...
Oh yeah, good shout. See, this is why I'm building it with Phil and Steggy, because honestly, was a little nervous. I've never tackled a build quite this.
Let's see, looks like you need some space, and yeah, there we go. I didn't realize the graphics card needed extra GPU power. I thought it was just powered from, I mean,
PCIe,
obviously it doesn't make...
Yikes.
Obviously now thinking about it twice, rethinking it, yeah, that makes no sense.
A 1070 with pure...
I'm still surprised, or I'm still amazed that you can do that kind of thing, single slot.
Oh, I am pouring stuff onto the ground.
We have lost the zip ties.
RIP zip ties.
Yes.
I would say plug in any other cables we also need, which would be PCI as well as the CPU power. Let's see here. Where's CPU power? This looks like CPU.
Yeah,
power.
I wish I'd done Steggy's idea of just taking it back out and plugging everything in. I do not know how people get liquid cooling into this slot here. Underneath this. That is crazy to me.
They probably start with those custom cables that, like...
Yeah.
I mean, like, sometimes... I think, like, when Linus does those videos, I think he literally writes it all out, or, like, the team does. I mean, they have, like, 10 people working on one of those projects, so...
Okay, CPU power.
I believe that's the CPU power.
Looks like it. 2 4-pins. Yeah, 2 4-pins to an 8-pin. That is what CPU power looks like. The question is...
And then you need 1 PCI power.
Just the one? And then I need SATA power for my...
Yeah, so the graphics card needs a single 8...
Okay, that's cool. At least there's that.
8-pin connector.
Oh, you know what's crazy? Because of the orientation of this being this way around, because this was the only way around that we'd get the fan pointing the right way, the everything crosses over each other. Like, because the graphics is going to cross from here out this way.
Yeah.
So the graphics is going to start on this side and come this way, and then everything else starts on that side and comes this way. But I think we can make it work. That's going to be our graphics connector.
And then we also need a SATA one,
Do we have a PCIe to single instead of double? Nope, they're all to double.
No, they're all double.
Oh.
Alright, time to do some soldering, guys.
That's where cable mod comes in, right? Because,
Yeah,
and also for the
exactly.
SATA cables, they all come in, you know...
Yeah, like, I really gonna need a single of that. Oh, God.
You got this.
Yeah,
I'm
I
here
cannot
for the
wait.
moral support.
I seriously can't wait to redo this, like, recable this with cable mod. It's gonna be an orgasmic experience, that's gonna feel so good. Like, everything being, like, tight, nice.
Video too.
Yeah, for me, I'm like the exact opposite, because I'm like, oh my god, this actually turns on and everything's good. I'm leaving it alone.
I'm never touching it again.
I remember when I first started at Elgato and I moved all my stuff from New Hampshire, my PC wouldn't turn on. And so I built it in 2009. This was 2015. And so this was the first Gen i7. And so Phil's like, hey, bring it in, I'll take a look at it. And I'm like, okay, I think it might just be like a CMOS battery or something like that because it's kind of old. Phil's like, bring it in anyway. It could be a number of things. He sees it. The first thing he does is he takes a picture of it and runs to his computer.
So disgusting.
He posts it to tech support Gore on Reddit.
It was so disgusting.
Because, like, I did not ever in the lifetime of the machine dust it.
Oh, Steggy.
And, I might as well. The only thing I could have done to make it worse is if I like smeared Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on the inside. Just like this is for you know.
This is all for the ants that live in my computer. You work for a tech company, Steg. Come on, man.
Did it up until that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
God, the Medusa's
The Kraken lives.
Okay.
I mean, I will say the thing literally still ran. The only reason why I didn't use the computer, I still have the motherboard actually in the office with like the CPU. Like that all works. It's just my case, the fan stopped. Like, it locked up. Because, you know, 6 years, whatever.
So CPU power actually goes in the bottom here because the
Yeah.
motherboard's inverted, it's upside down.
And this is where the build stops being clean, at least for
Yeah,
now.
at least for now. Let's
Imagine, like...
fold these back over themselves.
I was gonna say, like, imagine, like, there's no wires needed for a computer and they send it through, like, thoughts and prayers technology. Just completely wirelessly.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we have a
Don't throw
friend
that in
who has literal moss growing in his PS4.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
like it was gross. I didn't even want to fix it.
If
like,
you ever buy, like, retro games at, like, a flea market, you need to, like, take them... Or, like, retro game systems, you have to take them apart to make sure that there's not, like, dead things in there.
Yeah.
Mostly bugs.
Oh, man.
Oh god, I cannot wait to recable this already. Like, I'm not even done cabling it, and I'm just imagining recabling this with like perfect length cables.
It's definitely the worst part about building a computer. Like, you know, I guess like if you spend the time, like, but
It's the worst part, but the
you
most
never have
rewarding,
fun.
'cause
Yeah,
you
it's
feel good.
rewarding. It's probably the most rewarding, but it is the worst part about putting together a computer.
Yeah.
Use cable ties early and often, guys.
So are you gonna have the cable tie head being on the outside of the case then?
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. I mean, the
I'm just
feet-
like, that wouldn't
Yeah,
look
because
clean
the
on the
feet will
outside.
lift it. Well, that's gonna stand up, right? So it could still look clean.
Knowing me, every time I pick it up, my hand
Yeah.
would catch that one part where there's
And
one
then
and be
get
like,
a cut from it or something.
basically.
Yeah.
Anything that's like always smooth, like nothing sticking out, just like
Yeah, I would prefer it, but I think the head on the bottom is actually better because it's not then sticking into
But you're
the
also
case.
not going to need that when you do your cable mod.
Yeah,
so it's
that's
a
true.
temporary, like, that's a band-aid. It's completely...
And if I ever build another PC, definitely going with cable mods. I've never done that before.
They're
but,
not cheap, but they're worth it. It's one of
Yeah.
those where it's like you get exactly what you pay for.
Right, right.
Oh man, this is not happy.
Oh, I think it's going to do it. I don't know.
Now imagine trying to get the SSD in there as well.
Oh god, I don't even know if I can. Actually, thinking about it, I don't know with the way that the cables are that that's going to go in.
You could do it without the case, or without the just
Yeah,
literally
just have the
throw it in
SATA
there
and just
somewhere.
like kind of like rattling
Just throw
around.
throw the screws through the.
No. I'm not saying. I'm saying take this off and just put it in there. Literally,
Like
just
not
put it in.
not secured or with the
Not
screws?
secured. Or that's going to be a really tight fit. Ooh.
Yeah. It's,
Are your cable mods going to be right angle jacks? Is that a thing with PSUs?
They are right. They'll be right angles. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you might be able to get away with just screwing directly in. But
Yeah. Screwing like through the case.
yeah.
No shock absorption whatsoever. But luckily it's an
It's
SSD.
definitely
so
an
it's-
interesting beast.
Are you sure it's even worth doing this though? Because I feel like you could just like get like a Thunderbolt drive. Like if you transfer stuff between Thunderbolt to
Yeah, I
the
want to be able to
NVMe
record.
or
I
whatever.
want to be able to record to this though.
Yeah, are there Thunderbolt to like say? I mean, there's like USB, where you plug in your hard drive into externally.
Yeah,
Those
exactly.
exist,
There's
so you could
Thunderbolt. There are
theoretically
Thunderbolt
do that.
enclosures. We actually made a Thunderbolt drive for a while.
Did
But
you?
it was USB 3 port and Thunderbolt 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't Thunderbolt 3.
This is probably why people just put a 1 terabyte M.2 in it and call it a day and
Yeah,
pay the
That's
extra money.
probably why. We've learned something.
We could clip these off. We could actually cut this and electrical
like
tape.
electrical tape it, yeah. Do you have electrical tape on you?
I don't.
Why is
I
that
don't.
so long before it gets to the first one? That's what I want to know.
Is there not a shorter one in there anywhere?
Nope.
Nope.
No, they're all the same. I mean, these guys, the cables are
Standard.
generic.
Yeah, standard ones.
They don't, they assume the worst, kind of.
Well, the thing is,
So-
Duncan, we could cut it. We just couldn't. It means we couldn't turn the PC on until we got back home and could electric tape it.
I don't see how this is going in. I really don't.
I mean, would that work?
How? How do they expect it to go in on a thing lifting it up this much?
Yeah. Are you sure it's not supposed to go in on the other side, like on the inside of it?
Yeah, I'm sure. But that would work. And it's definitely meant to go on the inside of it.
I'm pretty sure. See,
But you still run into the problem with this cable situation.
yeah,
But the
at
height
least-
situation isn't an issue anymore. Alright,
Okay.
look, Phil, sometimes, Duncan makes a mistake and we edit it out of the video.
Just say like
It's
I'm still on your
amazing this technology that we have these days.
When did you guys get over here, by the way? A little while. You guys have been here. You guys just got here. Right?
Yesterday evening.
Yesterday evening, yeah.
Yeah, so you're jet lagged. That's all.
I accept.
No, our sleep schedule for the past 3
I
weeks
wasn't
has been
jet lagged
California
when I
sleep
screwed it
schedule,
in on
so-
the other side of it before we left England.
It's okay. We're here to support each other. That's what counts.
See, Phil was saying, "Oh, I'll just sit out. Duncan doesn't need my help." Remember that, Phil?
Yeah,
I do
he's
remember
like, I don't want. There's no spots for me. I think he was just a gentleman and didn't want to ask Beryl to get up, which is, is very.
I was just being lazy. I was just sitting there until I had to move.
Yeah, you just gotta. You
it's
gotta
kind of a
force
comfy
it.
couch,
Or
right?
build
I mean,
it in
we
from.
think it
Actually,
feels
hold
a
on.
little stiff
You know, you're
because
making this
it's, you
way
can
more
lift
difficult
it
than
up
it
and
needs to
there's
be.
storage underneath.
No.
Because I
Other
was thinking
side.
that
Try
could
from the
be
other
somewhat
side.
useful because
Yeah.
San Francisco, storage
Oh,
is at a premium.
Phil, I'm even dumber than that.
What's up?
You can attach the tray, I think, way more on the other side. So there's way less tray.
Over here.
Ah,
Yeah.
Interesting.
live and learn.
But then we have to see how it plays with PCIe.
It's still not going to go in because of this. This cable is just too...
No, you can force it. A little pressure
Looks like it'll fit.
never hurt.
Never hurt any PC parts.
Yeah, don't quote me on that.
You guys heard him. If your Elgato's not going into the PCIe slot, just
Jam it.
jam it in, man.
I don't condone the use of hammers, nor jamming, nor any other form of force when plugging in any sort of PCI cards into any sort of PCI slot. See, look at that. Perfect. You could just leave it there. Don't even need to screw it in.
Yeah, the pressure from the wires will keep it.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm getting the data
Sound?
cable to go to route to the motherboard, but that's a problem for future Duncan.
The data
Yeah,
cable
10 minutes
to
from
route
now,
to the
Duncan.
motherboard.
Hey, it's still the future. Actually, I don't know why I'm worried about the data cables when I've got the power cables to get into this thing.
We'll figure it out. It just needs to look pretty at the end. And again, it's not. It's what's on the inside that counts. It doesn't need to be pretty, right? It just needs to work.
No, actually, it's what's on the outside that counts, because as long as everything fits in the case, it'll look great from the outside.
Yeah.
What's on the inside that absolutely doesn't count
And
in
then,
this case.
And then we overheat, and all the parts die.
What's your point?
But it runs for the 5 minutes it needs to for the video, and that's
Yeah.
all. that
Okay.
matters.
Views,
So
content,
what do we need to do next to make this go efficiently?
reality.
Okay, I need to run this.
Through the bottom
How's your
there.
battery?
I went to Mercedes, but I can grab the battery pack again. I only used it for like 10 minutes.
Gotcha.
Is that gonna work?
Oh yeah, it is.
Little surgery.
Give it a little wiggle.
Thankfully, I suspect that the easiest part of this case assembly will be the Elgato 4K60
It actually
Pro.
is going to be the easiest part to put in. It doesn't take any extra power.
It's just like, and it's done.
Okay, so as long as we stay below the level of these two screws, we're not interfering with any
Yeah.
of the... This is just too long.
Thankfully, with this setup that you're doing, though, you're so prepared for, like, years. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
right now, most people are still doing 720p, 60 FPS, and it's just, like, as internets gets better and, like, the platforms get better, I mean, we're still looking at a while before 1080p, and that'll be there for, like, some time, right?
Yeah, I mean, 1080p is like the aim, isn't it? That's like what
Yeah.
everybody's trying to get to with streaming, because any higher than 1080p and you're like...
Yeah, I mean, right now people are concerned with playing in the higher resolutions than 1080p.
Yeah.
Like, they want to play in 1440p, 144
That's exactly
hertz.
what I was saying. It's like,
And that's why I use something like the Elgato 4K60 Pro.
because you can play in that and then stream at 1080p, or even play in that, record in 4K, because recorded footage is becoming more and more,
For sure.
high res.
Even then, though, it's like I've uploaded 4K footage. It still takes a day to process
Yeah.
till it gets to 4K. And I actually did a 4K stream on YouTube a couple of weeks back. It actually worked pretty well. The problem that I couldn't get past, though, was there was a full minute delay between me talking with stream.
Oh yeah, I couldn't.
So that I couldn't.
What did I use to cut the cable tie? Oh, I didn't cut it last time. I haven't got scissors yet.
So my question for you is, how does this fit in there? It
Okay.
needs to go like
You need to
that.
angle
Yeah.
it differently, Duncan.
This is going to come through here. So this is the bifurcating thing,
And
Right.
that just
You
sits
gotta
there
think of the camera
freely.
angles,
and
Duncan.
it's going to sit. It's going to sit on top of these screws here.
And that just
The
sits
camera
there
cannot
freely.
see that, yeah.
So yeah, it's going to have to sit there 3D for now. I am going to 3D
Interesting.
print a bracket that screws
Yeah.
onto this and then goes through this.
I guess the
Oh, so that'll
graphics
just
card
float,
and
but the mounts for the graphic, the PCI.
no, it'll hold them for
Yeah,
sure.
the
It'll
slot
hold them
covers
here.
will
The
hold
fact
it.
is,
Yeah.
it would be hard to mount a graphics card on its own in this. But with the Elgato also weighing less than a graphics card, but actually
Yeah.
still screwing in, we should be all right.
Interesting.
Are you putting the Elgato on the outside facing or inside facing one?
I want it on the outside for two reasons. One, because it looks nicer than the graphics card. And two, because the graphics card is a blower style graphics card, so long as the Elgato doesn't overlap the blower,
Look at
which
that.
it doesn't, it's almost like they were made to go together in this
That's pretty
system.
incredible.
Yeah.
It won't affect the thermal performance of this, but it will affect the thermal performance of this. And this actually gives it more space inside the case to move that air before it hits an obstacle. So it's actually way better this way around. And I was worried that the Elgato Pro might be too long, but
Let's see. Is that what we need to do next?
I was gonna make some jokes there from that, but you know.
yeah, there's no
think
reason.
so.
There's no reason. Not
I actually
to.
do like the look of this GPU a lot, though, as far as GPUs go. Like,
It's a very pretty
sleek,
GPU. Yeah.
I mean, Elgato's still prettier. But
Is it possible to do it while the computer's on its side so you can get the top?
Yeah.
Um,
Just flip it over.
possibly.
Because you have to be careful not to obscure all of it with
Was
your
that my
head,
graphics
too.
card screw? Yeah, it was.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, I'll try, sweetheart.
Okay.
But yeah, I can just see this being so useful at events because one of the things that Elgato does at events, you know, both stateside and you know in Europe or wherever we can, is we set up these things called stream pods where different streamers can sign up and do like hour, 2-hour slots. We've moved to 2 hour now. It's a little bit harder to get in now. It's more exclusive, like a club.
I think I'm going to do a 2-hour slot at PAX East, I believe.
Nice. So, I mean, it's just one of the things we do because, like you were saying earlier, a lot of streamers don't bother going to these events because they lose out on money, they lose subs, they lose viewers. And
Tight.
That is pretty cool.
that's going to be some pressure, I think. Huh?
Interesting.
Is the bracket on the 4K, did I not look into this? And the bracket on the 4K 60 Pro is too wide to go into this lip here.
You could take it off.
You could bend the lip a little bit, maybe, right? Or no?
This bracket, you could take it off.
Yeah, you can just take it off with screws.
But
if
then how
needed.
would they secure it? How do you
Oh
secure
yeah,
it?
then there's no securing it. Interesting. Okay.
This bracket here.
Can we
Is
push
there-
it down any further?
Okay, let's try it.
Yeah, maybe you could
Let's
just
try it
force
outside here, and let's see
Yeah.
if these two brackets go together at all. Okay, they do go together, which
Yeah.
means
Which means it theoretically should fit.
Because it's a standard bracket.
Yeah.
It just may be a really
Wow.
tight fit.
That is.
you're not
I think
kidding.
I just heard that. I think I just heard how tight.
yeah.
That is.
And of course, Duncan forgot to take a screw out, so he's made his own life.
sounds coming
Slightly
from
longer
this.
than 20.
Yeah, this screw is very unhappy.
Well, no, you can speed up a lot of it.
Yeah.
Cut it out. All the uninteresting stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of
Yeah, I think like raw conversation though could be uploaded as a secret video because we've had a pretty good like podcast episode almost.
And there we go.
Duncan's screw up didn't matter that much,
Okay.
other than stripping the head of this screw, but you know, and damaging his hardened screw tip. But that's. Oh no, I didn't damage the screw. Wow, there we go. I fixed it.
You
Screwdrivers.
just really damaged the screw when you
I just
stripped
really
it.
upset the screw.
Okay.
I think the fact it's such a tight fit though is actually good
Keep things snug. You might
because it means it
need
won't
that
rattle
bracket.
around. Yeah.
Wow. That is quite incredible.
Phil was skeptical of this system even working, so...
Well, I was skeptical of the bifurcation, considering it's not something that's very standard. I mean, it's essentially creating like a PCI hub, like a USB hub. It's kind of the same principle in a way. So it's and it's not done very often for various reasons.
It's very you know, experimental.
I mean, the fact that the riser cable itself costs $70 is like one reason that it's not done very often, actually, because it's just so expensive to do, and the only system you'd ever do it in is a mini-ITX build. And then for a mini-ITX build, when are you going to have space for 2 PCIe lanes? Like, so it's done a lot, though, right now in that foul practice of Bitcoin mining. Like, it's been taking off a little bit because
they just need 1x PCI speeds.
They don't need good throughput, they just need as high a hash speed as possible. So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, it looks super clean on the back compared to when I did the dry run without the...
Alright, we're done.
It's what's on the
Looks
outside
clean on
that
the back.
matters.
We're good. Just don't think of all this stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, so we end up doing these streaming pods, so the different streamers who come to these events can basically log into their own accounts, say hi to all their viewers in their community, basically stay in touch, and you know, it's kind of like a cool thing because a lot of times we get like a really cool overlook at the event, so they could say, this is where I am. And for streamers who don't do like vlogs when they travel and stuff, it's kind of valuable there. But you know, thankfully, so many more companies have been getting into this whole mind space or mindset of, you know, having these streaming booths because that's what's going to get people there, and it's just good marketing for the company side. The problem is streamers don't always want to, like, you know, rep the company, like, oh man, do like 10 tweets for us, you know, wear this hat and this and you know, basically you know, force that stuff. And so for us, you know, it's like you know, for PAX it's like an actual official PAX thing, so like it's literally all your own. Like, we make some pre-made PAX graphics and stuff, but that's it. So it's not like sponsored streams, but you know, there's still, it's just like out of an entire weekend, how many hours do you get? 2 to 4 hours with all that considered. So like, this is a really good option for the people who's like, I need to be online more than that.
Because now I can do that stream, right, my 2 hours. Oh, I don't think this is going to work actually because it fits flush to this, doesn't it? So I can't have
you
this
can't
here.
do that.
Do you have a pair of scissors? Or side cutters or something?
Let's see.
Because that's a shame, because that would have been such a neat way to cable manage this to the top here. Instead, I think I'm going to have to run it through here.
Oh, that's actually going to work out really well. No? You could probably, you could do that, kind of. If you could zip tie it like that.
Zip tie it even actually a little bit less this way.
I knew I just had some lying on the floor somewhere.
And due to the magic of editing, we now have Jeff sitting in a seat with the pair of scissors.
Editing is great.
Okay.
So did you know,
a little deeper in there.
My original plan was to build this in the Bullet BH4, which is a case that's 4 times the size of this.
Jesus.
That would have been smart.
We have a...
The problem is then, doesn't fit in hand luggage. It's too tall to fit in hand luggage.
I could literally probably even fit this in my MetaThreads backpack, to be honest with you.
Well, let's see if we can at the end of the end of the video. Let's see how small of a... The fact is, it's smaller than a shoebox, than a standard shoebox, which is... Wait, why am I not also grabbing these and just tying
So if it's smaller than your standard shoebox, that would fit a normal pair of Yeezys.
Yeah. Exactly.
But then I would have to, you know, I would have to decide, what do I bring to an event with me? Do I want to stream and make money, or do I want to show off my cool kit?
Yeah.
The decision.
The decision between wearing my... That, actually...
That looks nice. On this side,
Considering-
looks really nice.
Considering...
Yeah.
That is not bad for that side. So we've got full airflow to the KFA, which is... The bet that upsets me. In France, Europe, everything, they're called KFA, so all their branding says KFA on it. They're called Galax in the US, and the Galax logo is sick. So that fan has the Galax logo on it instead.
So the 4K 60 Pro is getting the air
Yeah,
it
exactly.
needs.
It's getting all the air it needs.
It's
And
got-
you can
why not?
actually
It's
cable
got the
manage a
camera
little bit
time
down
and-
here as well.
Yeah, I will cable manage down here for sure.
Wow, not bad actually. That cleans up really nice. Whoop.
Yeah, flying.
But that's the thing during the PC build is, you know, it gets a little hectic, and then at the end it all
looks-
cleans
And do you have the
up.
SATA already plugged into the hard drive?
Oh god.
Okay.
That's the
That
hell
is something that would also be needed. Well, actually, the SATA cable not as important because he's got the M2 drive, which is the boot drive. So that is important to have in critical.
Yeah.
But you make a good point. We should probably.
Well, if I want to be able to record with it. See, if I was just
Yeah.
building this as a stream box, I wouldn't have bought I wouldn't have an SSD in it at all.
Right.
And I would have bought like a 500 gig boot drive just in case.
Yeah, but you
need
know what's
something-
really interesting, and this is going to be another plug for us, which is just this video is going to be full of it. You cut it all out; it's fine. So, did you see the new feature that we added to our 4K card, or actually our 4K software, I should say?
Which features that?
It's called Streamlink. So basically, you know, because you're one of the people that has,
yeah.
So Duncan, I mean, you have a Twitch stream profile, and you also have a very big YouTube profile. So you do VODs just as much as you do streams.
Yeah.
And so we are in the alpha stages right now of this feature called Streamlink, which basically lets you use your 4K 60 Pro with both the 4K capture utility software and OBS, XSplit, whatever software you want. So you can record at the full 4K 60 FPS, 140 mbits for raw gameplay video that you want, while outputting it simultaneously to OBS to stream it at the 720p 60
and
FPS.
then, because in OBS you could say start recording an MVenc as well as start streaming in X264, right? You could do that and have the same experience.
Yeah, you're gonna have the
Except then
low,
you have
you're
your
gonna have the low
mic,
bit rate too.
You have the lower bit. Well, no, you can. MVenc can have a separate bit rate for recording to your.
Oh, I didn't know
stream
that
bit rate.
OBS could do that now.
So
But
that's
it's still
new
all
on
burned in.
21. But then your webcam is burned in, and your interaction with the stream, your commentary is burned in. Whereas if you want to do a highlight video with post commentary, you then have to mute it. You don't get any of the game sound. This Streamlink thing is super super cool, and I have actually been playing with it, trying to get it to work. I was going to hit you up actually because I can't get it to work without delaying the. But I think it's on OBS's end, so I don't think I can actually get help from you. So I've been looking into like people troubleshooting it for themselves.
Well, I would love to help you.
Yes.
And we can talk after we're done.
Building this, and I'm going to have to make a loop here of this USB 3.0.
Oh man.
Is it worth it for one USB 3.0 to have this cable?
I think so, because imagine the one time when you
But you
need that
one
one
more.
port.
Because I've got
And
1,
then you
2,
will hate
3, 4,
yourself
5,
for not
6,
plugging it in.
6 and a Thunderbolt on the back. But that 7th port, that could be.
It could, you know,
Those 3
that
panels
could
on the
make
back.
the difference.
Okay, is this the power switch here then? Right down here?
It most likely is.
Because I don't.
If it looks like it is, then it probably
Let's
is.
have the motherboard manual. We'll edit this bit out. Me being a complete.
Manual is not. Is this it? Yeah, this is it. I got it.
Okay, we're gonna have a
Actually,
look at
I will have a look at it.
Okay, sweet. Right, so that's managed.
Oh wait, no.
SATA cable. Flat to flat.
Do you want to
want
hear the German version? No.
No, Phil.
RGB LED light strips, M.2 SSD. Okay, here we go.
Oh, that doesn't seem that bad if you can come in from the back like that.
Yeah.
That was actually decent.
You just need to get this through.
Let's see, onboard audio headers.
Yeah.
We're getting closer. Oh, are you kidding me?
So this is the only I/O on the front then, huh? Is that one USB? There's
There's no other
headphone.
I/O. There's a power switch and a USB.
Interesting.
If you want headphones, you plug them into the back.
Cool, cool.
But I believe the board has Bluetooth, so
Ooh, yeah. Actually, I was going to ask about that. So, what are you? So you have your gaming laptop. Then, are you going to be using like a small Bluetooth mouse and keyboard? I know that they have actually. You know, they make them for Raspberry Pis. They're actually like this big, and it's like almost like a cell phone physical keyboard and like a touchpad. So you can actually like attach that to the streaming PC. Because if you think about it,
that might be actually
what
really
more
smart.
do you need for this except maybe plugging in a Stream Deck in the front USB port?
I've got my Stream Deck ready to
control
go.
all that.
Yeah.
So besides like a Stream Deck to make that part easy, just get like one of those little Raspberry Pi things. I guess they're not like the highest quality. Like I mean, they're like $20. So what can you expect? But
all you need to do is be able to
to
start OBS with it. Like, oh no, actually you don't, because Stream Deck has a button to start programs.
Yeah, no, it pretty much has
It'll
everything.
open it. It'll
Start
start
like,
and stop
I'm
your
sure you
Do we,
would
recording
also-
and
even
streaming.
do we even need a mouse and keyboard? Thinking about it?
You might be able
You
to
could
even get
just
away with
have it-
Synergy from
have
your
it-
laptop's touchpad
Yeah, because
for
Could
the
it-
rare instances.
Because you
need
can have
to use
Windows Auto Login, which means when you turn it
Yeah,
on, you
it
can have
logs
it
in.
send a. You could have it launch a bin file to turn on and like to restart or to shut down.
Yeah,
You could have it. I
OBS.
believe you could completely control this PC
You could
with just Steam Deck. You would
I
not
might.
need.
We should do that as a separate video
As a
if I've got
project.
time before I leave.
Yeah,
Like,
so the
I
one
could-
thing I would think, the one difficulty is, so you can have it open up your Twitch chat, your OBS
This guy.
program, and your
Yep.
Twitch dashboard.
It's
The only
This
thing
one
I would
here?
say is
It's
getting them to
the-
open up in a specific
that one.
part of the window.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
that guy.
Like if you could say, I want it to
Now-
be snapped up to the right, that would be sick. You could probably do it with AutoHotkey or something. Which
Wait,
works
is
with
it
Stream
the?
Deck.
Can I see it because it's in a weird orientation? Which one is the power?
It's so the orientation of the motherboard is like this.
Yeah.
Can
So
you
it's
read
number
that?
12 somewhere.
It has them in really small.
HD LED power button. Okay, yep, I see it. It's the one. Is the standard orientation, and that should actually be the PC built. So that is my internals. They will be way neater with a.
That's still not bad, actually.
No,
I mean,
this
you're not
is-
blocking
yeah.
any critical airflow anywhere.
So the
and-
thing I said about this fan, I don't think this fan fits anywhere in this case.
No, there's
I don't
no...
But
There's
once
no
cable mod
way.
is done,
I don't
it
know if
might
you turn
mount
it.
here.
Or turn it around. Oh no, because it
Yeah.
put it against the graphics card.
Yeah, but then it would actually. This blower
Yeah.
is more powerful than this fan, so
So, I mean...
that is.
Called it.
You did call it.
But you know,
a long
this
time
is
ago.
why. But this is why, like, I go to like Phil to help because you say, "Oh, this is so terrible." I look at that wire management. I'm like, "That's really impressive," considering like the lengths. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think for what we
I think
have
that it looks
here,
great.
I think-
I would leave it as is. I would never open it again for 10 years, and just
I
pray it
think-
doesn't get dusty.
with what it has in there, I think it's good. I want cable mod just so because I'm gonna probably get a clear. I'll get one of these made in plexiglass, so I'll just get it custom made in plexiglass.
Oh, nice.
With like all the holes and everything, so it's see-through for this side because I really want to show off the
Yeah, no.
Elgato
it's-
and stuff. So at least for this side, I'll get cable mod cables for all of these, so that it just looks way nicer on the inside. That side, this side, considering how nice it looks compared to what I thought it would end up, I think I might just leave it.
Might as well be painted.
Yeah, and then the front's going to be painted, and we can now name this computer. And it's small, it's sleek, it's very fast, and my favorite monster in Monster. Well, the theme of
what
our
are you
Monster
gonna
Hunter
call
team,
it?
it's named Naga Cougar because we've got my big one at home, which is Nerg Gigante, which is the big brute monster, and then this one is the Naga Cougar. So
I
when
must admit, I started playing Monster Hunter World, and then I stopped playing it because other things happened, and I haven't
Fortnite.
started it again. And
Actually-
I need to
Have you hopped
play
on the
that game
Fortnite
more.
train yet?
I was on that train a long time ago. Played Fortnite back before the Battle Royale existed. Didn't think it was a very good game.
I'm a Fortnite
Well, it was
OG.
funny
Get
because
off my lawn, kids.
so this is a funny thing. I was playing Fortnite, and so I'm an OG Halo kid, and we used to play Halo 2 Zombies, where you'd start off with one zombie and 15 humans. If the zombie kills you with a sword, you have to change over to the green team, and you become a zombie. So humans use pistols, zombies use swords, no shields, whatever. And so I'm playing this game, and I'm like, with all the building elements, and I've only played the Battle Royale part. Like, with all these building elements, this would make a great PvP zombie game, where, like, you can try and, like, kind of shack up and whatever.
That's exactly what it is.
And so I tweeted, I'm like, this would be a great zombie game, and some people were like, this is really a good idea. Other people were like, have you even, like, heard of Save the World? Like, this part of
The
it?
actual-
And I'm like,
actual main part.
But, in my defense, that isn't
Oh, wow.
PvP, it's PvE. So I'm talking about get 99 players, so you play the whole game. First you do human, and then you'd play as the zombie, which would be fun because as of right now, whenever you die in Fortnite, you leave right away. So
Yeah.
this way it kind of engages people to stay till the end.
These zip ties down here totally work. You will not see them when the PC is standing
No.
up.
But like I would hurt myself badly.
You could definitely file it down a little bit to make sure that it's
Yeah.
completely flush. But
that would be the one thing that would get me to like
Okay, so now.
do the cable mods because I would not want.
Okay, first things first. I made a mistake. I think this hot swapping. No, just in my theory planning of this, I think hot swapping this drive between the two PCs
It's gonna be way too much of a.
is going to be
terrible-
way
yeah.
too much. Of
But
a-
luckily you have
Cable
that.
mod.
Maybe, but even then it would still
I would
be,
say
it
not
still
worth.
means you have to open it up. You still have to open up this front part Or, well, no, you could probably do the side. But either way, it would be a hassle. I would still think that maybe running just a Thunderbolt to SATA expansion
and just clone the drives back and forth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think
get a dock.
Do Thunderbolt to Thunderbolt, so I can because I've got Thunderbolt on my PC at home. Thunderbolt this to my PC at home, and then the only limit will be the SATA connection speed, which is what, 6 gigabits per second that it will copy the.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then I just literally do a clone tool and clone the drives back and forth instead of switching them out and just buy another one of these drives.
No, what I'm saying is take the hard drive out of here
and just use a dock.
And just use a dock and carry it around with you. It won't be big, and that way you can still freely move it between.
So basically,
the PCs.
instead of using a PCIe like a graphics card on the Thunderbolt, you use a hard drive for the Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
and that's it.
That's it. We fit all of that stuff.
What are all
In
these
this.
leftover screws?
Oh, that is a heavy box for the size. Did not expect it to weigh quite that much.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in that initial
That is
box.
impressive. I am.
Can I hold the newborn baby?
There you go.
I want
Oh my god. Yeah.
So let's see.
So when are our
posts.
commissions open? You know, like is that
What are all these leftover screws?
We're gonna head off and oh wait.
We
The
have
most
one
important-
final piece.
Yeah. Right here.
Here you go.
That's gotta go on.
What about so it's not all fingerprinty wherever you do this? There's no bother.
I think we actually hold on. We have microfiber cloths down here. No. We have
Ooh,
we
nice
have a real
Elgato branded. Elgato.
And
Make sure it's up the right way.
there we go.
Line it up with the edge. There we go.
Boom.
And then get that off.
Yeah, that's the one thing you're gonna get with anodized aluminum is
Fingerprints.
the fingerprints.
For days, yeah.
But that is really clean looking.
Right. So we're gonna go see if it posts. We're gonna check out temps, all of that stuff. I'll put that in a different video. Thank you so much for watching this build, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. We might do maybe of just the scene that's us here, and you'll see a lot of the top of my head. We might just do a big uncut video in the description down below so you can hear all our discussion, because we talked about a lot of stuff during this build.
Definitely worth checking out if it's uploaded.
If it's uploaded. Check out all of Elgato's social media, because I promise you guys, I would not be where I am with YouTube today if they hadn't made their their capture card. Oh, have I spoiled a future product? Their capture cards, because honestly, it saved me from like, when I started doing Smash Bros and stuff. But thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sweet. Alright then guys, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, you can click up here to see more videos of this type on my channel. If you want to check out something else a little bit different, then you can click down here. And if you want to see everything that I upload, you can click the subscribe button right here.